okay? And I want to talk about Andrew Tate. Oops! I want to talk about Andrew Tate and Candace Owens and why, pray tell, has she not reported on the Tate Brothers and the recent charges, alleged charges. So this is my opinion on fake, bake, bald Andrew Tate shite. You really need to watch Adolescence on Netflix. Men are being destroyed by Tate. Joe Rogan has children, 2 boys, that watch Andrew Tate. It doesn't worry Joe Rogan, in my opinion. However, he even said himself, quote, if he would stop the misogyny shite. So I'm putting up a picture of Andrew Tate. I am going off screen and I will give you my opinion. If you like any of this, please subscribe. We are so close to monetization, and this is a non-donation charity. If you want to find out the intent, origin, and goal of the channel, we do raffles 4 times a year, and I give out a $25 gift certificate. So far, the winners have been Random Citizen, T-Bird, Melody Moon, and Care Give Out. Charlene, Jennifer, Ginny, and Care Give Out. Don't forget, the Meghan Markle trivia is worth $100, and it's 30 questions Trevor and I have picked up, and you can find the questions already on the playlist that says Meghan Markle trivia. Start studying. Go to the Royal Grift. Go to TNT UK. Go to Royal News Network. They have excellent footage. They are Meghan Markle, like, pro commentators. Cheer Denise is fantastic. She's had her channel the same amount as me, and she is like making a living off of YouTube. She's absolutely phenomenal. So I would like to talk about Andrew Tate and why on earth is Candace Owens not reporting on Andrew Tate? I find it very strange, and this is why. Okay, hi everybody. My name is Lasha Royanko. You've reached the channel High Voltage. I want to talk about Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate and the relationship in which is evolving, and is continuing to evolve. And I have a lot of questions because when people watch YouTube, sometimes folks think because somebody started a YouTube channel that they know the truth. That's not true. Now, if you look at somebody like Sean Atwood, I go to Sean Atwood's lives every time he's live. Even if I can only stay for a couple of minutes, I always redline it and like it and leave a comment because it's YouTube etiquette. And I believe that YouTube etiquette, I just want everybody to know, there were 886 people on the channel. And I started another channel a few years ago, and there was 306 souls behind there and 96 souls on another channel. So if I had been smart, I would have put the channels together, because then the charity, I would be able to give out more help to people. However, I am very concerned because when people listen to YouTube channels, somebody like Candace Owens, Russell Brand, even Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, they have magnetic personalities, and they're so precipitous and obtuse at the same time in her beliefs and her Christianity beliefs. She does come across as very, very abrupt and rude, in my opinion. And I remember watching her for the first time, about a year ago. So I've been watching Candace Owens videos at least for a year. And if I miss them, I always line them and like them and at least comment, because when people take the time to put up a video and share an opinion, it takes a lot of courage to do that because you're really putting yourself out there. Now, speaking of putting yourself out there, Candace Owens, there is an interview, and if I knew how to edit, I could have the interview and interject. That's my next goal. So, why is a Christian like Candace Owens, who's married to a Catholic who goes to Mass every day? And I listened to an interview. I think his name is George Farmer. And Candace Owens and her husband talk about how they met, their marriage, their children, etc. And there was one interview with George Farmer, and he said, I knew Andrew before Andrew was Andrew. Now, if you look at the timeline, and if you look at George, when he says, I knew Andrew before he was Andrew, he puts his head down. Now, usually when people put their head down, it's in sort of, it can be shame, it can be thinking, but honest to goodness, in my opinion, I feel bad for George because I feel that he's not being true to himself. Also, the Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate video that Candace Owens does with them, and they talk about the Matrix and how Andrew Tate is rich and famous, and that's why people are coming after him, because the Matrix has started all of this. And when you get to be rich and influential like I am, I'm rich and famous and I have lots of women. That man hates women. He hates women. He was on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan and him were splicing the word ownership, because Andrew Tate believes that when he marries a woman or is with a woman, and he can have as many women as he wants because he's a Muslim, he hides behind his religion, and he is just a total a-hole. And his brother seems to be a little calmer, but here's my question. Candace Owens will not talk about the charges that are laid against Andrew Tate, but she's so excited to find out about Russell Brand because what's in it? Because she has 3 sons and she's trying to protect her sons because the Me Too movement. Do you know what? If you have money in life, nothing is a problem. And I just want everybody to know that I think Andrew Tate is a shite. And I think that the woman who dated him, in my opinion, was absolutely uninformed and ignorant. And I can't stand it when Tristan says to Candace, she's on her 4th pregnancy, and I'm very concerned about this pregnancy, and I have a feeling that later on in life, one of her children is going to want to date the same sex. And she had an interview with Don Lemon, and he is married to a man in a healthy relationship, a loving relationship. Love is love. And she actually said to him, yeah, I believe you're living in a sinful relationship. I think marriage is only between a man and a woman. I'm thinking to myself, you don't even believe what you're saying. And, I believed everything she said because she's so convincing and so staunch and so confident and so capable. But I really believe that she fakes it a little bit because her husband, I don't know if you noticed this, but when she was in an interview with her husband, she was acting like Serena in The Handmaid's Tale, in my opinion. Now, I love Candace Owens and I'll never stop watching her, but I find it interesting that they talk about the uncaring of children and women, but she won't say anything about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, I'm just not built that way. And she says, oh, I love that clip. Anyways, I'm just a little infuriated because I think that these men need to be stopped. And maybe there is a matrix, and maybe they do need to be stopped, because the movie Adolescence on Netflix is about children and boys who think that if women are weak, that's when you get them. And Piers Morgan said, so you don't own a woman. And he said, well, if you're responsible with that burden, Piers Morgan didn't catch the word burden. So Andrew Tate hates women. And then Tristan Tate says to Candace Owens on their interview, oh, you're pregnant again, populating the world. And I thought to myself, what is Candace Owens going to do if one of her children is not the way she wants them to be? She is a control freak. In my opinion, it's a little concerning. I think she's somebody to keep your eye on. I love her, I respect her, but there's something that's not quite right with the Tates and Candace Owens. And they talk about the Matrix and attacks and yada, 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 and it's interesting to listen to, but what are people doing about it? This is what I mean about YouTube. I started the channel. You can find out why. It's a non-donation charity, and I've already given out because I want to, because in part it's a projection, because I didn't feel supported when I went through what I went through. And everybody can relate to that, and times are going to get really tough. And I want you to know, everybody, Melody Moon and Starboy and Ark, thank you for coming on the live today with Trevor and I. My phone died, and I so appreciate it. The raffle will be held on May the 1st when we're settled in our new home. I can't wait. Okay, so let me know what your thoughts are about Andrew Tate, and thank you for the 3 people that stuck around. Okay, have a great night, everybody, and God bless. I mean that. Bye for now.